Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today it's going to be just about the new component I got for the bike, which is an EVRaceworks rear brake. So I'm going to go through this, get it installed, kind of show you how to install. I have not done a rear brake on the bike yet, so as I figure it out, I will show you guys what's going on. I'm gonna get this unpackaged and then we'll look at what we got to do. All right, so we can see the calipers here, a lever, we got the new rotor, and the rotor pretty much the same as the old one except for it's definitely thicker. But as far as size goes, I think it's the same. Let's get it on there. So to start, as you can see, we got the brake hose that's routed, goes under the battery tray, goes behind this brace, behind this, comes out here, and then routes up into the brake. In order to run a new cable, you have to, since this is all attached and I don't necessarily want to bleed it again, I'm going to have to run either, oh that's gonna suck, it is going to suck. Okay guys, if you buy a brake that's pre-bled, where basically what that means is it's already attached to the calipers and the lever, there's no real way to get this through the bike without removing basically all of your suspension. This back plate here, the front plate has to be pulled out, the bottom plate has to be pulled out, the triple clamps have to be taken off just to get any of this stuff through there. The brakes come pre-bled, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just do the easier, in my mind I guess, the easier way to do it, which is I'll undo this banjo bolt. I'm going to plug it with one of these rubber caps, just stuff it in there so it should squish up against the hole and then block it. I'll mount the top lever and then route the other end. So in order to do that, you still have to take off the rear wheel because I have to put on the new rotor anyway. Take off this caliper, undo the line here, pull it through. I will have to probably take off this plate. Let's see, they're going underneath. I'm not sure I'll go under, yeah. So probably take off that plate, we'll see. Definitely have to take this out, or at least loosen it enough to move underneath it. Probably pull this out just so that I can get to this line, and then I should be able to route it straight up through there just like it is now. So that's the idea. I'll cut back. I'm going to take off the bike or the rear wheel first. Actually, probably what I'll do first is pull out this other brake, and then like I said, that's just a matter of loosening this off the caliper. First I'll probably just pull all these things off so that I can get it through without making a huge mess, because I don't know how I'll plug that one. So we'll do that first, then continue. All right, midway through update, I'm going to tell you what I've been working on. I basically have the other rear brake off at this point. With those same rubber caps, I capped the other end of this so that it wouldn't leak all over the place and make a mess. Just so you know, I just kind of unscrewed that from the caliper, capped it, and then pulled it all the way through. I'm gonna give you, let me get the light, where's the light? All right, let me give you some information. There are 5 bolts in this tray that you have to get out, and they're underneath the foam pad sometimes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That does not mean the tray will come out. The tray will not come out because there's screws underneath holding it. However, and I took off the bash guard because I thought I had to get under there, but I don't think you have to do that. This you still have to loosen to get the cable out. But if you take these screws out of this plate here, there's one on the very end over there, and then there's 2 that hold that plastic cover there, and then 1 underneath that right in here. Once you get these screws out, this plate moves around a lot more freely, and when it moves this freely, you can get the cable to come through and around this plate. So I don't have to actually remove the plate. There's a gap big enough right here, as you can see, for me to get the cable through here, around the plate and underneath it, tucked down, so I can wiggle it. And then behind this plate here, you can see I can move it enough that I can get it through that hole. This corner piece right where my finger is right there. So your idea will be to get the cable underneath here, your triangle through that hole, around the plate, and up. So I'm going to continue on. Once I have the cable mounted, or the brake handle mounted and the cable routed, I'll put everything back together. Then I'll put it up on the stand and have to take off the rear wheel to mount the rotor and the new bracket. So I'll touch back and give you an update. But while I was here, you can see the battery lid is off. I also decided I was going to get rid of the stupid brake sensor lines, and I took this whole piece off and found the lines, which are these, and unplugged them from the housing because I don't need a bunch of extra cables. This was already too tight as it was, so now it's nice and snug. The only cables that are going in there are the ones that matter, like the speedo, the switch, the light. Looking good. I'll give you another update here in a few. Okay, here's another update. Got the lever mounted. Got the master up here, and for this side I took off the caliper, and as you can see I used one of those rubber things and then just pushed actually one of my bash guard screws through the rubber to block off the banjo bolt hole right here, so the oil will come up and go into this banjo bolt, and the other side of the banjo bolt has a hole in it, lets it spin around and flow. So anyway, now that I've got that, I pushed it down around through the forks, through the triple here. You can see this. It will get held down with a clamp right there like this, along with this throttle cable, which I can tidy up. It's just kind of wiggling around up there, but I put this bolt back in once I got those kind of behind that thing to hold them in place. You can see I've got it routed behind this plate, and now I just got to get it under the tray, which I should be able to do, and then I will put the caliper back on. So just an update. Here you go. All right, here's another update. Got the rotor on the wheel. This EVR brake comes with its own axle adapter and its own mount. So already on the caliper is the mount, and then this comes in a separate bag. It replaces this thing from the stock SURRON, so you don't need that. After this, I've got the line run through, mounted to the swing arm. It's between the battery tray there, which was kind of tough, but if you loosen these bolts up enough, you can get it underneath there. You can see the cable right there. It comes up and out. It's mounted here. It's mounted here. Comes out here. So there will be a little bit more slack when I move this bolt here and point it that way. You want it to be kind of down like this to help the bleeding process so that this fluid flows. We want the fluid to flow out here. We're going to start bleeding because right now, even though the tire's moving, and if I push it, I have to hold it all the way to the handlebar before it grips. So it's not the grip I want, which means it needs to be bled a little bit more, which I totally expected taking this bolt off of this caliper. So to bleed it, the best thing is to have a clear tube here, and I didn't have one, or the one I at least had is a lot bigger and it wouldn't fit there. So I went to AutoZone. I picked up some .4 brake fluid. These come with .5.1, .4, and .3 all can mix with that. That's fine. You just don't want to put .5, which is kind of a synthetic, in there. So .5.1, 4, or 3. So I can just top this off with .4 and that will be okay. I got this bleeder kit, which comes with a hose and some other stuff, which is nice. The nice thing is that I got this little cup I can use to catch the excess brake fluid instead of making a mess in the garage. So we'll do that. Let me get that off. This bleeder kit from AutoZone comes with 3 adapters. Look at our tube here. And honestly, the tube will probably just fit right on there. I don't need the adapters. Tube does fit right on there. So what you want to do is get your tube on there like that. Get your other end on this lid. Like so. The other thing, when you're going to bleed this, you got to open up the bleeder valve here. What you want to do is pump your brake, crack open the bleeder valve. When you see the fluids coming up, close it back up before air goes back into it, and then give it a little bit of time, see how many air bubbles come out. All right, so I got my crescent here. I couldn't find the 8mm wrench, but if you have 2 people, this might be easier. But I'm gonna grab the front brake over here. I'm gonna pump it like a few times, hold it. I'm gonna open this. You saw some air bubbles come out at first. I'm gonna close that up again. I'm gonna let it be. Send some vibrations down in there so that any of the air might move around cylinders, around the pistons or open area for the fluid. We'll see if we get some more air bubbles. Get that wrench ready. Pump it 5 times. See the air bubbles come through. Close it up. Also want to be paying attention to that reservoir up top. I'm gonna look in the window. We're still good. We don't want that to run empty. I'm gonna pump it, hold it, more air bubbles. Close it up, give it a little bit of time. When you stop seeing air coming through, then you know you're getting closer. Alright, we didn't see any air that time. I still don't have any brake feel there, so let's take a peek at our fluid level up here. We're all right, but I'm gonna add some. Brake fluid is really nasty stuff, so you don't want to get on anything. I have some isopropyl alcohol. I just put on some rags and clean stuff up. As soon as it starts getting on stuff, I'll make sure I get it cleaned up. Just want to have some of that on standby. We'll top up that reservoir. It looks good. When you're pumping this, it'll start squirting brake fluid out the top. So since I can't pay attention up there, I'm definitely gonna just leave it. Get this going again. I didn't see any air bubbles. I still have no brake feel though. So it might be that I have to take the caliper off. Also, when you're doing this, you loosen this bolt up a little bit, this screw, to where this is a little wobbly. Allows you to get that more freedom. So we'll do a couple more bleeds here. Let's see if we don't get any air. I'll tighten up this screw a little bit, and we'll see if we have any more brake feel. There's no more air pockets coming out of there. So on this, you only want the screw to be tight enough to not be wiggly. Wow, something just happened. I just lost a bunch of brake feel. Now it doesn't do anything. Now I've got nothing. Bubbles. I think we have brake feel now. I'm pretty sure. So at this point, I'll put it all back together. We can just bleed the brakes when we need to. I'm gonna get the battery in there, the top back on, do some test rides, and then see if we need to continue. Sometimes riding it around will bounce enough bubbles around too that you can bleed it after the fact. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back together. We'll be back on in a sec. Oh, while I put this back together, I just wanted to let you know that this caliper is not fully tightened down. You want to keep it loose while you're doing this stuff, and then to make sure it's not rubbing and everything when you're riding, you want to lock up those brakes. Makes it center. Then tighten that caliper. Tightened up my screw here, angled the lever down to where I like it. Let's see how it feels. Oh yeah. Oh, it's got feel now. And it'll lock up that tire. Yep. Oh, that's nice. All right. Oh, they feel good. Oh, they feel good. All right. Way different than the stock brakes. And I've tried a few different types of pads in the stock brakes. So yeah, I don't know how they would compare it to something like a TRP or something like that, but it just locks it up. Well, boys, the next test will be a trail. So as you can see, this is like the feeling point, which is just about right. and I'm not a light guy. It takes some brake to lock this bike up. So trail test, we'll cut to that. Hey guys, welcome back. We're out on a trail to test these new EVRaceworks brakes. This rear moto that I got. So going up a steep trail to see how it fares coming back down. You can see the full brake there. This trail, I didn't see any signs, but might be for hiking or something, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, it's a nice morning. It's going to be warm. I tried to get out a little earlier today before it got too hot. Ooh. Now for context, I have not rode this trail, so we're chasing lizards. So yeah, it's not too early in the morning, but definitely a few hours before it starts to get hot. So we'll get up quick and come back down and test these brakes out. I tried to bed them in a little bit, but it's a good thing I have the steel toes on. Oh, that would have hurt. The weeds hiding those big rocks. I like that one. Dang. Alright, this trail is kind of gnarly. Definitely just think this is a hiking trail. Yeah, the plan was just to do a little short ride, test these brakes out, then get this video out to you guys. So so yeah, I think we'll turn around here, go down this steep section, get a test of these brakes. I mean, that's a definitely fall there. All right. I mean, they're locking up right there, so so far so good. All right, guys. Always coming up, you never know how steep it is. Oh shit, on the camera, you probably don't know how steep it is going down. But I'll just tell you, it's steep. Steep enough that this switchback is gonna kill me probably. I can't. It's too inclined to lean. There we go. I mean, I could, but you know, you risk going over. That's a steep fall. All right, These brakes are really, I mean, they're hooking up so much that it's almost scary because it's locking up. I'm just in a panic brake. I gotta like get used to the feel, I guess. I'm used to gripping, and now I'm like squeezing a little bit and it's locking up and I'm freaking out. Maybe not the safest trail to test these brakes on. See what oh, that's great. Oh. All right guys, it's steep, so make fun of me all you want. The brakes are like hooked up. It's just a matter of time me getting used to like how much pressure I really need to give it, because I'm just giving it too much. Maybe just the one finger be good. Even one finger, I'm just gonna lock it up. All right, that's all right. We're getting a feel for it. That's one finger. I'm one finger in it now just to feel it out, and it's definitely enough. So yeah, I'll get to the bottom of this trail and give you my review. Oh. Oh, this steep. I would have probably had brake fade by now on my other brakes. Yeah, those I feel a little safer, and it's not such a cliff, man. I'm getting used to it a little bit too. So. I'm really glad to see that the bikes nowadays, like the newer Ventus one and Sigma and things like that, SR, are all coming with moto brakes, because the bikes are way too much for those little mineral oil mountain bike brakes. All right, boys, there you have it, the EVR moto brake. The big difference here, let's see if that rotor's, I mean, it's warm, but it's not crazy hot. The big difference here is a 3mm rotor, where I think the stock one is like 1.8 or something like that. That's like a whole, it's definitely over 1mm thicker. The brake pads are so big, and so cheap from their site. That's like one of the bigger things. Like getting brake pads for this is going to be way cheaper. Not to mention .5.1 fluid in here, which has a higher heat tolerance. So even when you do start cooking it up and those calipers and the pistons start getting hot, it doesn't break down the oil. You don't get the brake fade. It's definitely nice. My opinion on the mounting it, I was worried. I thought I'd have to break the whole bike down just to do it. I decided to bleed it. Bleeding isn't that hard, honestly. It's really easy. So the fact that they sell them fully assembled or pre-bled, I think is, I don't know why. Everybody's gonna have to take apart the bike, or at least take one of the pieces off. And to me, taking just the tray out and routing it that way, like I did, is way easier than taking in the entire shock off, the tray, the controller, because you have to be able to fit either the caliper or the lever through this whole area. So you have to take apart the entire bike, get a little bit of extra dot fluid, get a bleed kit if you need to, if you don't have one. I mean, I showed you, I got mine from AutoZone for like 10 bucks, and bleed it yourself. It's really not that hard. So yeah, I don't really get why they're selling them pre-bled that way. It might as well not be. But my review is, I bought just the rear just to see how I like it, to see if I wanted to go with this on a front or if I wanted to go something else. And yeah, I think that I might just stick with the EV, to be honest. Like, it's really good. I don't think you need the giant rotor in the back. I think just the thicker rotor's good enough. I mean, this thing is locking up all the time. So for an install and review video, I haven't tested that many brakes, so I really can't compare it to a lot other than real moto brakes. It feels like a real moto brake to me, like on my 450. So I would give it a 5 out of 5 just to say that it's really nice and good for the SURRON. So definitely a worthy upgrade. If you've modded your bike, you've got this much weight, and you're doing trail riding like I am, where that brake matters. That trail that we just went down, that's a lot of vertical decline, and I was panic braking a lot, and you can see it just locks up and does well. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you felt like it helped you, give it a thumbs up, and yeah, until the next one, keep the rubber side down.